Hello all students in Language Lab, Swedish Language Lab. This is Mattias Burrell. Sorry about this very late recording of the video lesson. I will explain what happened in E-class. Okay, today in this brief video I will speak about emphasis in the word. Ordbetoning. Let me pick up my little whiteboard and explain to you. Ordbetoning, that means the emphasis within a single word. Where in that word, consisting of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different syllables, where do you put the stress? Ordbetoning. And in the textbook, Uttalsboken, I'm now on page 52-53. And there is a discussion there about accent 1 and accent 2. Okay, a little bit of Swedish. Accent 1. Accent 1 har en stigande ton. En stigande ton, det betyder a rising tone. It goes up, a rising tone. And here I give you one example, the word studera. 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 It goes up, studera. And then we have the second one, accent 2. Accent 2. Accent 2 är en fallande ton. A falling tone or a dropping tone. En fallande ton, den går ner. Och exempel här är ordet gammal. Gammal. Or another example is the word studenter. Studenter. These are just two examples. In the page 52-53 and the following pages in the book, there are many examples and many drills and many rules for when you have accent 1 and accent 2. And that is what I will try to do in this video today. But my main emphasis will be on accent 1. Why? Because I think it makes sense to repeat it over and over again many times. And I will do so on the pages 54, 55, 56 and 57 in the book. And accent 1, the rising tone, can come either in the first syllable, or in the second syllable, or in the third, and so on. And this is what all these pages are all about. So I want you to listen carefully to the many words of accent 1, the rising tone. Okay? Nu är jag på sidan 52. And here are all the different rules for when you have a rising tone, meaning accent 1. I don't expect you to memorize all these rules. Some of them are easy to remember, others not. Altogether, I've listed 11 different rules. Impossible to remember them all. But I will go through them. Vilka ord har accent 1? Rule number 1. Alla ord med en stavelse. All words with just one syllable. Lyssna på orden. Bil, hus, arm, katt, bor, glad. All of them have just one single syllable. How do you know how many syllables? you count the number of vowels in the word. And all these words I just read to you only have one vowel, meaning also one syllable. Rule number 2. Bestämd form av accent 1-ord. So it's the definite form of those words. Listen to the words. Bilen, huset, armen, katten. All of them have the rising tone. Rule number 3. Verbformer som slutar på er. Listen to these words. Heter, ringer, läser, skriver. Rule number 4. Många ord som slutar på er, el eller en. Lyssna på orden. Vacker, fågel, dubbel, vapen. Category or rule number 5. Många låneord. Låneord means borrowed, imported words from foreign languages, which often have a stress in the end of the word. Many of these words are imported from French language, for example, and they have this rising tone towards the end. Listen to the words. Person, bibliotek, telefon, ekonomi, formulär, legitimation, radio, bio, teater. Okay, step by step, I think you will get a feeling for what is the meaning of a rising tone. Number 6, rule number 6. Former av ord som slutar på era. Det är många verb, many verbs like this. Studera, diskuterar, intresserad. Rule number 7. Ord som börjar på be och många ord som börjar på för. Lyssna på orden. Betalar, betyg, berättar, beror, förklarar, förlåt, försäkring. Okay? Number 8 rule. Adjektiv på isk eller isk. So adjectives with that ending isk. Lyssna på orden. Typisk, politisk, nordisk. Nummer 9. Många namn på platser och personer. So place names and person names often have this rising tone, accent 1. Listen to the words. Göteborg, Sverige, Tyskland, Persson, Ingmar, Bergman. Okay? Number 10. Namn på veckodagar och månader. That is pretty easy. Names for weekdays and months. Listen to the words. Söndag, onsdag, lördag, januari, april, december. Okay? And the last one, oregelbunden komparativ. So these are comparative adjectives and in the irregular forms. Listen to the words. Högre, större, längre, bättre. Let me repeat. I don't expect you to memorize or know all these words. The key thing right now is to get a feeling for how you pronounce the accent 1 with a rising tone. And the next page 53 is all about accent 2. Let's skip that for this video, okay? skip that. We don't talk about accent 2 now. And we don't talk about sammansättningsbetoning. The composite words, the long words, they have a special pattern. We can talk about that later. Let's move to page 54. Here is an exercise, reading words with accent 1 and accent 2. I will skip accent 2 and only read first the words and then the small little sentences with accent 1. So just pay attention and listen, okay? Accent 1. Bilen. Han brukar ta bilen. Armen. Har du ont i armen? Läser. Vad sitter du och läser? Åker. Jag tror jag åker nu. Heter. Vet du vad hon heter? 100. Får jag 100 kronor? Svensken. Vad vet du om svensken? Vacker. Är den vacker? Dubbel. Kan jag få en dubbel? Fågel. Vad är det för fågel? Förklara. Jag kan inte förklara det. Bestämma. Det kan vi bestämma. Bestämde. Vem bestämde det? Betalar. Vem är det som betalar? Högre. Jag vill bo i ett högre hus. Större. Jag vill ha ett större hus. Små hus. De har byggt små hus. Stor stad. Är det en stor stad? A quick comment here is on page 54, all these different words with the accent 1 rising tone are actually connected to various different rules that we just went through on page 52. So you can look back and forth and see if you can figure out, oh, which rule is this, which rule is that. It makes a little bit of sense. Let's move on to page 55. On page 55 it says accent 1 på första stavelsen. What does that mean? Accent 1 rising tone in the first syllable of that word. So the rising tone comes in the very beginning of the word, on the first syllable. And I will read on this page starting from the top. Listen to my reading. I start from 1 and go all the way down. Landet. Länderna. Handen. Händerna. Boken. Böckerna. Foten. Fötterna. Saken. Sakerna. Greken. Grekerna. And then continue on the same page from number 7 and down. Typisk. Typiska. Grekisk. Grekiska. Faktisk. Faktiska. Teknisk. Tekniker. Komisk. Komiker. Fysisk. Fysiker. Starting from number 13 and down, all those words are verbs ending with ER and in different forms. And I will read each line at a time, okay? Kommer. Kommer du? Kommer du då? Läser. Läser du? Läser du den? Bjuder. Bjuder du? Bjuder du mig? Ringer. Ringer ni? Ringer ni oss? Rör sig. Rör den sig? Rör den sig då? Slå sig. Slog du dig? Slog du honom? Hör du? Hör du mig? Hör du henne? Ser du? Ser du det? Ser du honom? Har ni? Har ni den? Har ni honom? Ge mig. Ge mig den. Ge henne den. Ta den. Ta den då. Ta den nu då. Kör mig. Kör mig va. Kör mig nu va. Okay. And a quick comment on this page. Keep in mind that this is all rising tone accent 1, and with a special focus on rising tone on the first syllable in the beginning of the verb or a word. Okay? Now we flip the page to page 56, and it's still going to be accent 1, rising tone, but the rising tone position is in the second syllable of the word. Accent 1 på andra stavelser. And I will do the very same thing. I will read the words and I will do it this way, a line at a time, starting from the top. Lyssna på mitt uttal. Besök, besöka, besökare. Beslut, beslutar, beslutade. Bekant, bekanta, bekanta sig. Bete, bete sig, beteende. Besvär, besvärlig, besvärliga. Bestäm, bestämde, bestämde sig. So you probably recognize the rising tone, but as I mentioned in these words, the rising tone happens in the second syllable of the word. I continue with number 7 and downwards. Listen to the pronunciation. Förlåt, förlåter, förlåtande. Försvar, försvara, försvarare. Förstår, förstår du, förståelse. Försök, försökte, försökte du. Förstärkt, förstärkning, förstärkningar. Let's see. I will skip number 12 and 13. I'll just pass over them and continue on 14 and downwards. And I do it line by line. Listen to my pronunciation. Number 14. Fåtölj, fåtöljer, fåtöljerna. Japan, japaner, japanerna. Kines, kinesisk, kinesiska. Polis, politisk, politiker. Irak, irakier, irakierna. Student, studera, studerande. person, personlig, personligen. And at the bottom of page 56 are phrases with the rising tone in the second syllable. A phrase, that means more than one word, at least two words together, maybe more. So from 21 and downwards. Listen to the words. Ta med dig, ta med dig den. Säg till mig, säg till henne. Kör om dem, kör om honom. Vem kom? När kom hon? När kommer hon? Okay, so that was all of page 56. Now the last page, page 57. And here, the rising tone, accent 1, comes towards the end of the word, on either the very last syllable, or the second to last syllable, and sometimes on the third before the last syllable. I'm going to read that whole page line by line, starting from 1 and going downwards. Okay? Listen to my pronunciation. Telefon, telefoner, telefonerna. Let me stop quickly here. Telefon, that is with the rising tone on the last syllable. Telefon. The second word, telefoner, that is on the second to last syllable. Telefoner. And telefonerna, that is a rising tone on the third before last syllable. Telefon, telefoner, telefonerna. Okay, I move on. Number 2. Bageri, bageriet, bagerierna. Portugis, portugisisk, portugisiska. Adressat, adressera, adresserade. Dirigent, dirigera, dirigerade. Promenad, promenera, promenerade. Demonstration, demonstrera, demonstrerade. Klassifikation, klassificera, klassificerade. Teori, teoretisk, teoretiska. Demokrati, demokratisk, demokratiska. Geografi, geografisk, geografiska. Ekonomi, ekonomisk, ekonomiska. Akademi, akademisk, akademiker. Matematik, matematisk, matematiker. Analys, analytisk, analytiker. Traditionell, traditionella, traditionellare. Individuell, individuella, individuellare. Aktivitet, aktiviteter, aktiviteterna. Socialist, socialistisk, socialistiska. Konkurrent, konkurrera, konkurrerade. Journalistik, journalistiken, journalisterna. And a small comment here before we finish with this page 57. The first column here has the rising tone in all of these words on the last syllable. In the middle column, we have the rising tone, accent 1, in the second to last syllable. And in this column here, we have the rising tone on the third to last syllable. So that's the system of this page. So please have a kind of look and listen to all these exercises of accent 1. I think it's good to just repeat and learn accent 1 first, and then later we will do accent 2, and when we know them both we can flip back and forth. But first accent 1, then later accent 2, and then we see if we can jump back and forth between them and see the difference between the rising tone and the falling tone. Okej? Accent 1, accent 2. Tack så mycket. Jag hoppas att det här hjälper er, och så ses vi snart. Nästa Zoom-lektion är tisdagen den 19 maj. Tack och hej. Hej då.